Hello and welcome, or more likely welcome back, as this is a second part to a two-part video. The first was building the exterior, and now we are on to the interior of our Barbie High School. First off, adding in an area on the exterior to work on the rocket skill, as that is a requirement within one of the generations. As you can also probably see, this is already kind of laid out for me. I planned out how I wanted the general layout to be while I was doing the exterior, just to ensure that I had enough space to include everything that I really wanted to have included. Now, this interior also is going to include the gym here in this back left area, and in the front right corner is the greenhouse. I am going to be going in and including that within this video, although the majority of this video is going to be the interior of the main building, that being this first floor here, and then the second floor where we have more of the additional opportunities to work on any of the kind of science-y kind of skills, such as the we've got some areas for the chess lab, so we've got our chess tables and everything, but we also have areas for the computer. We also have some research machines, also have the pet wellness machine, so we can work on that. Pretty much just making sure that we have the items that we need to satisfy every single one of the generations within the Barbie Legacy Challenge. Now, if you did not watch the first part of this two-part series, this is going to only include the interior I already posted on my channel, the exterior building process. However, you don't really need to go and see that if you would prefer to just watch the interior, as I am generally going through and adding items in each areas, and then going back in and making sure to put in the fine details and all of the clutter once I have the general idea planned out for that space. The only things that you are not going to see within this video is going to be the bathrooms. You'll be able to see that off to the side throughout this video. However, I don't include any of the recording process for the bathrooms, as these are just public bathrooms, essentially. I wasn't really capable of putting too much customization or clutter within those areas. I did my best, but for the most part, really is just those bathroom stalls, the sinks, and then I do the mirrors going above the sinks. And for the most part, it really is just that, along with some clutter and a trash can. Throughout this video, I do go a little bit all over the place, particularly in this beginning portion when I'm trying to figure out the actual official layouts of each of the rooms that I'm going to be including within this build. Here I am adding in some things for the computer lab area, still trying to figure out what flooring I really enjoyed, and I ended up settling on this one right here that came with Sims 4 City Living. Just this blue tile, as I do end up putting pink for the wallpapers. So I thought that blue was a really nice way to add a little bit of contrast in without taking away from the very much so pink Barbie aesthetic that we're going for. In this top area, you also were able to see the front ledge area above the nice big open stairwell area. Those end up being more for entertainment purposes. So those are spots that are going to end up having items that are more for actual entertainment, including a foosball table and the actual games table that comes with Get Together. Also going through and adding in all of the different award items in their designated areas. So obviously we put the chess award in our chess lab, the computer programming award with the computer room, and then we have the cheerleading and football in the side gymnasium. I do also add here a little area in the lunch cafeteria area, as I thought that this would be in real life a good area to do some of the indoor pep rallies. As far as my own experience, a lot of the pep rallies were done obviously right before the football games, but we had mini pep rallies at our lunches as well. So I do end up going in and adding some details with that in a stage area. As you might be able to tell with the two classrooms, one of them has more of like science-y posters up on the wall, and the other is more of a creative arts kind of class. Essentially, I wanted to make it so that the rooms were not exactly identical to one another. So I made one of them for a like more math science sort of teacher, and another one for more of like a English history sort of teacher. I did also get a good amount of advice from my sister, who she herself has worked in a high school before, but her husband, my brother-in-law, is actually currently a teacher at a high school, so was able to get a good amount of insight as far as where certain decorations should go, what sort of items would be cluttering up the hallway area, and most of what I implemented involved like the cork boards and adding a bunch of little screens in. Obviously, these are just regular televisions, and there's not going to be actual events advertised on them. But nowadays, when you do go to a high school, you do see flat screen TVs up on the walls to advertise certain events or certain things that are coming up soon for the school. So really actually going in and getting started with doing some cluttering, mostly just going through the clutter category and adding things in where I thought they might fit best. So we have these two classrooms here, and in that top right corner on the screen right about now, that is going to be the principal's office. So I do end up making the English history class more of a pink focused classroom, and the quote-unquote math and science class ends up leaning more towards blue. For the principal's office, I did lean more towards purple. So the majority of the school is, of course, pink, but wanted to add some additional colors in there, as obviously in some of the movies and iterations of Barbie, she is not always guaranteed to be wearing pink. Most likely, if she's not wearing pink, it would be blue or purple. So those were the other colors that I wanted to implement pretty well. I will also be going over all of the individual rooms at the end of this episode so that you will be able to see each of them non-sped up and you can see them in real time. And now we are transitioning to doing the gym area, particularly putting all of the items into our trophy case that we needed to have in there, as well as in this one towards the front of the school, adding some sort of seating area just so that there is that opportunity. Ending up going with this inflatable looking couch that came with a event. And over to this area, we end up making a nice little cheerleading area. Over to the other side is more of the treadmill, weights, boxing, that sort of thing. I do also add in a little locker area out here, as I felt that might be included in this sort of area within the school, just so that the cheerleaders and such could probably keep their things in that locker rather than lugging them around all day. And as you also can see, these ones have more of full, and these bathrooms do have a bit more detail, as these are the ones that come with showers. However, I again did not include these, as you can kind of see for the most part. If you are interested in how I did the bathrooms, you can kind of see generally how I did them. Again, though, I did not think that this was a crucial part of the building process, so I did not include it in this video. And once I feel pretty satisfied with this area, which it did take me quite a while to actually officially feel satisfied with this area. I felt like this rug really was what did it for me, making the area feel a bit more sectioned off. And then going into the greenhouse area, as you can see, I did open up the gallery and pull out just base game plants that we can put into our greenhouse here. I do also end up putting a little bit of clutter from the greenhouse clutter kit, but I also do put the flower arranging table in here, which comes with the Sims 4 Seasons. So using a good amount of items in here, but I did want to keep the plants to base game, as I know that as soon as you start involving other packs and everything, the options really just become a little bit overwhelming. So I just chose to do base game plants. As you can see, using a lot of the greenhouse kit to add that clutter around, as well as this little mushroom seat, as well as the little basket chair. And for the lighting, I chose this cute little tree. I thought that that was fitting with what we had going on in this area. Then I end up adding, changing the spacing of things, trying to figure out where I wanted this flower arranging table. Did take a little bit of rearranging, but eventually I got to a place I was very, very satisfied with. And then going back into the gym area, adding just a little bit of clutter items to make it look a little bit more used, as a high school would be. It wouldn't necessarily be entirely organized. You're going to have teenagers kind of cluttering up the space. So came back over here to add a little bit more, particularly this cheerleading area, giving them a little bit more space. I should say a bit more options of what kind of tools they would use. So using some of like the megaphones, we've got headphones, some free hand weights, a little cup. here we are going through in-game, outside of our build and buy mode, particularly giving you some better views in these hallway areas, which most of the decorations are on the walls. So when you put the walls down, you lose a lot of that content. I do appreciate you though making it all the way to the end of this video. If you did enjoy what you saw, please give it a like and comment down below anything else that you are hoping to see from me in the future. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time.